Let's talk the cup. One more thing, like, subscribe, and share. Come on, let's talk the cup. Woo!
Well, good evening, everybody. Hey, it's Cutler here on the Let's Talk to Cutler broadcast, the Let's Talk to Cutler vlog, the Let's Talk to Cutler virtual book club. And I am glad to be here. It is another, what is today, you all? It's Tuesday. It's Tuesday, the 22nd of November. And can you all believe in a few days it'll be Thanksgiving? The week is just, the week of the month of the year is just moving right on by. And I, for one, I'm glad about it. I hope you all are as well. I'm thankful. This is the season when we pause and we stop and we give thanks for so many things. A lot of people will be hosting. A lot of people will be opening their homes and allowing others to come in. And hopefully we are making people comfortable when they come into our homes. You don't want to open your home and not make people comfortable. That's one of that it's just a mantra of the season. Make people comfortable when they come to your home. So I really want to talk about that. But just in case you're stopping by my channel for the very first time and you're not sure what this guy's talking about or what's going on over on that station, or you're just you're catching a replay or something, let me just tell you, this station is about inspiration. It's about good news. It's about good talk. It's about positive vibes. So it's about inspiration, it's about motivation, but it's also from time to time we challenge ourselves to see what we're doing to show up better tomorrow than we did today. We challenge ourselves to see how can we show up better or make sure that we've shown up better today than we did yesterday. It doesn't mean that yesterday was a flop or failure. It doesn't mean that today is a flop or failure. It means that we are intentional about making sure that we are our best selves. We are doing an inventory of the day to see, is there something that happened during the day? Is there a nugget that I can take from today that will put me in a better headspace, emotional space, financial space, physical space, or any kind of space tomorrow? There's enough negative and bad news out there, so we leave that to those audiences. We leave that to those platforms. But here we come to focus on inspiration. We come to focus on motivation. We come to focus on being better. All right, we come to focus on being better. Let me just see, but let me just remind you, make sure if you haven't done so, if this is your second time here, go ahead and subscribe. Just hit the subscribe button. What are you waiting for? Just hit the subscribe button and then click the notification icon, because it lets you know whenever I've gone live and whenever I've uploaded new content, that sort of thing. I also like to, from time to time, these Tuesdays and Thursdays, when I'm here for 1,800 seconds, and I'm only here for 1,800 seconds. Sometimes you all push me to go a little longer than 1,800 seconds. But while I'm here, I like to acknowledge those people who sometimes beat me in the chat room, and you get to the chat before I do, and you all start speaking to each other and doing all those sorts of things. I call you all the LTTC VIPs, the Let's Talk to Color, very important people for that moment. Of course, you're all important to me. You really, really are. And I'm thankful this season as I'm giving thanks. I'm thankful that you all are a part of my journey. You are part of my experience. You are part of this community of winners, which we are. But I want to shout out the first three people that I see from my end in the chat room. And those people are Annie Cutler, who says, let's ride, get aboard. MV says, good evening, everyone. And Tracy Johnson says, hey, everyone, good evening. Again, as we are thinking about this holiday season, I want you all to talk to me and just tell me this. This is just off the cuff. I'm going to pause and ask you all, if you know people who will be hosting, if you're going to be hosting, but if you know people who are going to be hosting, then invite them to come and be a part of this conversation, because I'd like to hear their thoughts about what we're going to discuss this evening. But I want to ask you all this. Have you ever gone to anybody's house? I hope I don't get in trouble for this. Have you ever gone to anybody's house and you wished you wouldn't have gone? Because when you got there, you realized that they were not the best host or hostess. And for some reason, they did not necessarily make you feel warm. They didn't make you feel safe, they didn't make you feel comfortable. If that has been you, just for now, type a yes or no in the chat room. So I'm curious. We're talking about how to make sure that we make people comfortable, especially during the holiday season. And this pertains to not just the holiday season. So let me just put that plug in. Whenever you're going to entertain people, and entertain people doesn't necessarily mean in your house, but it means in your space. Whenever you're going to have people in your space, one of the things that you always want to do is make sure that people feel safe and comfortable around you. Because one of the things that I've learned from life is that when people feel safe and comfortable around you, when you create an environment of trust, people will then endear themselves to you. But if people don't feel as though they can trust you, if they don't feel safe around you, if they don't feel comfortable around you, they probably won't come back. Or if they come back, they won't show up as as themselves. They won't show up as their authentic or organic self. And one of the things that you always want to do is to create a platform and a space where people can be themselves, where they can feel safe and feel comfortable and feel at ease in your presence. So especially if you're going to be hosting this Thanksgiving or this holiday season, make sure that you make an effort to make people comfortable. So again, if you have ever gone to anybody's house, hey, Fabulous Me, greetings to you and the family, your son and everybody. Listen, if you have ever gone to anybody's house and you did not feel comfortable, or you wish you would not have gone, let me know. Just put that in the chat and say me. You don't have to say, please don't say which house you went. Don't say which family member or relative you visited. But I'm just curious if that has ever been your position, your case. Let me know that, because I want to make sure that I'm on track. I can tell you this. I have gone to people's homes, to their houses, and wished that I would not have gone. And guess what? I didn't go back. You get one time to make a first impression. If people are gracious and merciful and lenient, then they'll go back and give you a second chance, because maybe, just maybe, you're having a bad day. But if you're having a bad day, don't host people. Just don't do it. Because people will make an assessment of you based on their first interaction with you. So you always want to put your best foot forward. And I'm telling you all, this is one of the things that I'm a stickler about, is making sure that you always, to the extent that you can, you always present your best self. Always present your best self. Fabulous Me said, yes, always that one family member who is not the best host in the world. And you think, oh, why did I go? I wish I wouldn't have gone. Well, what I'm going to talk about this evening is how we can make sure they are not saying that. Paul, I see you. I see what you said. You said you've gone as well. What I want to talk about this evening is making sure that we are not the people that other folk are talking about. I want to make sure that we do our best to make people comfortable. It's important to do your level best to make sure that people are comfortable around you. Again, why? Because it creates an environment of trust. Think about the times when you've been uncomfortable, and think about why you were not comfortable. Think about what they possibly could have done. So I want to help us out this evening, because I know a lot of times we like people, we want people around us, and you say, I don't think I'm necessarily the best host in the world. Well, I want to talk about that. Sometimes people are shy. They're just naturally shy, and having and making people comfortable around you seems like this task, this gigantic challenge, this gigantic chore, and you can't seem to do it. So I want to talk about some of the things that we can do to make people comfortable around us. And I'm not talking about throwing out awkward jokes or anything like that. I'm talking about just being yourself, being genuine, being comfortable in your skin, and making sure that people are comfortable around you. You don't want to feel awkward. You don't want to be shy. But one of the things that you can do, just right out of the gate, one of the things that you can do, and we'll talk about this in more detail, you all, if you want to make people feel comfortable, and you should, let me pause there. It's not often that you all hear me using the word should, but I think if we're going to be good stewards over the people that come into our lives, then we owe it to humanity. We owe it to ourselves, and we owe it to them to do the very best that we can to make sure people feel comfortable in our space. It's important. At least it's important to me. If people are going to be around me, I want to make sure they are comfortable. I really, really do. That's just how I am. That's my makeup. That's my personality. I don't want people to feel awkward and not at ease around me. I know some people who just talk, say anything, act any old kind of way, and they're not concerned about how people feel around them. But that is not me, and I hope that's not you. You want people to feel at ease. And one of the first things that you can do, even before I start getting into some of my tips about what we can do specifically, but one of the first things that you can do, a quick look at how you carry yourself. Look at your face, consider your facial expressions and your body language. Consider that. Think about you. Think about who you would be more prone to approach. And tell me if you disagree. I think that one of the things, tell me if you disagree with me. I think that people are more prone to approach a smiling face more than they are someone who has a scowl on their face. I think people are more prone or more inclined to approach someone whose arms are at ease to their sides or just, slightly moving, as opposed to someone whose arms are crossed and they look stoic. So just consider that alone. If you really want to become better at making people feel comfortable, consider your facial expression and consider your body language. Think about the people you would be more willing to approach. People who smile, people who make you feel comfortable. One of my gifts my introverted daughter has taught me is to have an inviting space, an inviting quiet space that people can use to take a break. And that's it. Like they say, make them feel at home. You all are right on target with some of the things that you're saying, because I think we owe it to people to make sure they are comfortable. And sometimes, Annie, let's see what you said. I was invited, but I don't think they thought I would show up. Sometimes people invite us out of obligation or for whatever reason. And then when you show up, they are not their best selves. And again, I want to make sure that people don't say that about us. So some of the things that we can do, I'm here to help our audience and our community. And if you all know out of this community of believers, we are the community of believers and the community of winners. If you all know people who need to hear this, tell them to catch the replay. If you know some people who are not I don't know how you all are going to do this. I don't know how you all going to do this. But if you know some people who are really not the best hosts or hostess in the world, and they need a few helpful hints, you could tell them to catch the replay, or maybe you can just take some of these points and share with them. All right. Do whatever you feel is the best thing or the best method of helping them. But I want to help people become the best guests, because I don't want to go to anybody's home. I don't want to be in anybody's space and feel awkward and not at ease. So one of the first things we can do, you all, is just smile. One of the first things you can do is smile, because smiling is really an invitation to come into your space. If you want to become approachable and make people feel comfortable in your presence, one of the Paula, I see what you said. I know a few. One of the things that you can do if you want to make people know that you are approachable and that you are making them feel comfortable in your presence, just smile. Just smile. Make sure it's a natural smile. And I'm not talking about a plastered grin that looks manufactured, but I'm talking about, because that looks creepy. You don't want to do that. But I'm just talking about just a pleasant smile. Honestly, for example, sometimes when I start talking and I think about you all, I think about the time that we spend together, and I just can't help it. It's the smile that comes over my face, because I'm thankful and I'm glad to see y'all, even though it's in this virtual space. I'm glad to see y'all. I enjoy seeing y'all pop up in the chat. That's why I initiated that friendly competition about the LTTC VIPs to see who gets in the chat room first. But I'm genuinely glad to see you all. And that's why sometimes I talk through my smile, because I'm really, really glad to see you all. So make sure, if you're going to smile, make sure that it's genuine and not some not some manufactured creepy kind of look. So just smile at people. And sometimes you just got to practice smiling. Go to the mirror and create the face that you would want to see. Go to the mirror and create the face that you would want to see. I know some of these are just really, they seem silly, but they're really practical methods to help us out. Because you want people to feel safe. You want people to feel comfortable around you, especially this holiday. Some people are sad, some people are despondent during the holiday, and your smile can lift them. You making them feel safe can lift them. And carry this with you even throughout the rest of the year, not just during the holidays, but we're going to focus on it for now. And not only smile, y'all, but be confident. Even if you're feeling anxious about entertaining, if you have some nerves about whether you put out the best thing, you serving the best food, or if you have some nerves about all that, that is okay. But be confident in the fact that you want them around. Be confident in the fact that you're happy to see them. Be confident in the fact that you're going to do your best to make them comfortable around you. Be confident in who you are. Because a confident person is so much easier to be around than someone who is uncomfortable in his or her skin. And we talked about that before. You've just got to learn how to be comfortable in your skin. And that is so subjective. It doesn't have to look like it doesn't have to look the same for me as it does for you. But be confident. Yes, you can be on edge about did I buy enough food? Did I get the right food? I want to make sure I have something that everybody will enjoy. Those are just nerves that come with making sure that you're on your toes because you want to do the best that you can. And that's fine. But be confident about knowing that you want them around, that you're happy to see them, that you're glad that you have the space where you can entertain them. That's what confidence is about. Sometimes, yes, we have a little discomfort because, I'm worried. I want to make sure everything goes right. There's a difference between comfort and confidence. Confidence is standing securely in who you are. Comfort is concerned about the surroundings, but be confident in knowing who you are. I'm glad to see you, and I'm confident about that. So I know I'm going to do the best I can. So smile, yes. Be confident, and I'm going to give you all this for free. I don't think we do this enough. Give compliments. Compliment the people that you are hosting. Compliment the people that you are entertaining. A compliment doesn't cost you anything. I grew up in the South. Of course, you all know, because sometimes you hear me talking, you hear my Southern accent come across. I grew up in the South. And one of the things that my family members would always remind me, especially the older people, they would say, and when it comes to being kind and being nice to people, they would say things like, that don't cost you nothing. It don't cost you nothing to be nice to people. Giving a compliment doesn't cost you anything either. Some people just have this innate ability to slip a compliment in during the conversation. Make sure that you try to deliver it genuinely. Find something nice to say, because that puts people at ease. I'll tell you all this. When I left the South and I moved away, I would go out to dinner, and I grew up addressing people by their names. So whenever I would see someone, a waiter or waitress or serving staff, I would look at the name, and if they didn't have a name badge, I would ask their name, and I would respond to them. I would address them by their names. And if I found that they were doing something nice, delivering the food in time or checking on the table, the people who were with me, I would find something nice to say to them. Thank you so much. You're really efficient at checking on your guests. I really appreciate that. That's a compliment that doesn't cost you anything. I'm not saying you have to go overboard and flirt with people and do all that kind of stuff, but just deliver a compliment, a genuine compliment from time to time. That doesn't cost you anything. Think about the times when you would have felt wonderful, you would have felt a little better just getting a compliment. People will say, "Oh, you're so good at doing that. Thank you so much." So now there comes this compliment, but it also is followed by gratitude. Try doing that. Just make a note. If you want people to feel comfortable around you, think about delivering a genuine compliment. It doesn't cost you a thing. By the time you smile, by the time you stand in your own skin and your confidence, and by the time you offer a compliment, you've allowed people to start lowering their guards around you. And then don't speak too fast. Don't talk too quickly. But talk slow enough so that talk so Tracy, thank you for agreeing. You say, yes, I agree. Give compliments. Absolutely. They don't cost you a thing. But also talk slowly. You don't want to talk so fast where people think that you're taking them fast. You don't want to offer instructions too quickly because people talking fast, people giving rapid instructions, people moving quick, all that kind of stuff. That can overwhelm people. So if you know that you have a tendency when you get excited to talk quickly and to talk fast, just make a strategic note. I need to slow down when I speak to people. I need to make sure that they understand what I'm saying. I need to make sure they understand the entire sentence, the entire thought that I'm trying to convey. Believe it or not, I do that when I speak to you all because my natural inclination is whenever I get excited, I'll cut some of my words and I'll move quickly. That's just what we do in the South. We get excited and we start talking like this because we figure that everybody will understand everything we have to say because we figure like, wait, I got a whole lot to say, I got a little time to say this, so let me just get this all out. That's how we talk. But that can sometimes cause people to do like this and try to figure out what is going on. What is he talking about? So just sit back, breathe, and talk at a normal pace. You don't want to overwhelm people. Check your speed, check your tone, and just keep on going. I hope this is helping us because you want people to feel at ease. All right. And then I'm only here for 1,800 seconds, so Cutler, pull this together. To the best that you can, have what I call open body language. Open body language. One of the ways that you can have open body language is to make good eye contact. When you have closed off body language, and when you don't make eye contact, people are not so relaxed around you. So make good eye contact. Now, don't stare the people down. This is not a staring competition. You don't have to stare the people down, but at least make good eye contact. And then here's one. You all try this and let me know if this works. I'm going to come back probably in next week sometimes and see if this worked for you. But then turn, for goodness sakes, turn to the people that you're talking to. Turn to the people that you're talking to. Because sometimes if I'm talking to you, but I'm turned this way. That does not make for good open body language. I'm not making eye contact. I'm not turned towards you. But the moment I do this, I invite you into my space. The moment I do this, so now I'm making eye contact, but I've also turned towards you because I'm giving you my attention. I'm letting you know that your space around me right now, your interaction with me right now matters. And if you want to make people feel safe, if you want to make people feel comfortable, you have to make sure that you let them know that they matter in that moment. So open body language to do that with the eye contact and with just turning towards them. All right. So try that. Think about the times when people have turned away from you and you were wondering if they were talking to you. It makes a world of difference. It makes a world of difference. So you all try some of these points and let me know. I got just a few more before we leave. Not only do you make good eye contact, but listen. and listen actively. Nothing feels more horrible than trying to talk. You all, I just have to put this out there. This is my experience. This is my truth. This is my transparency. So I want to share this. Nothing feels more horrible, more uninviting, more cold, more distant than trying to talk to someone who is constantly glancing at their phone. That's my experience. That's my transparency. I'm trying to talk to you. I want to talk to you, but if you're constantly glancing at your phone, I feel uninvited. I feel unacknowledged. And that is my experience. And because I feel that way, I try to make an effort not to fumble with my phone while people are talking to me. I'm inclined to agree with you, Tracy, that's rude. Because I believe, and maybe again, this is a part of my upbringing, I believe that the person with whom you are speaking at any moment should feel as though he or she is the most important person in the room. That is what's called making people matter. That is what's called letting people know that you acknowledge their presence. I wish we could somehow convey to the next generations, plural, and sometimes but I don't even think it's generational now because I see so many people from various generations doing this, talking to people, engaging in conversation while talking on their phone. They'll go to your homes to visit, and rather than engaging you in conversation, they're on their phone, just on their phone. And my mother has done this before, you all. My mother has just paused, crossed her arms like this, and just looked around and noted the people in the room who were no longer actively engaging in conversation, but distracted by a cell phone, attention snatched. But we are here. We're here in this space to exchange thoughts and ideas. We are here to embrace. That's why we're here. And the phones don't allow us to do that. There's nothing wrong with the phone. What's wrong is our usage of the phone and our allowing the phone to snatch and steal the valuable time that we could have interacting with each other as human beings. Juanita, thank you for sharing. Juanita says, I've had to learn not to speak too quickly. I still have to learn that. I still have to practice that, Juanita. Tracy says some restaurants have boxes to put your phone. We have to think about that. And again, if you're going to be I'm talking about those of us who want to make people comfortable around us. Can you imagine someone asking you, how are you feeling? How are you doing? And when you try to give an answer, or when you start giving an answer and you start saying, I'm not doing so good. I just buried so-and-so. I'm not doing so good because I just got out of the hospital. I'm not doing so good. And you look and you see them on the phone. You're pouring out your heart, pouring out your soul, pouring out your spirit, and you see them on the phone. And you say to yourself, I thought I mattered in this moment. So let's not be that person. You all know I'm a proponent of actively listening, making people matter in every moment. That's being a good steward. And then here's something else I want to offer you all. If you're going to be a good host and you want to make sure that people feel comfortable around you, I don't know if you all have ever heard of what's called it's called mirroring. It is the mirror image, the mirror technique. What does that mean, Cutler? It means you pay attention to the people who are around you and you give some of the same thing that they give. You watch their body posture. You listen, you watch how they position their bodies, and you want to mirror that. So perhaps if they stand, these are just some examples. So perhaps if they stand when speaking, if they stand during conversation, you stand right up along with them. If they lean back, maybe they're just comfortable leaning back when they talk. So you learn to sit back and just go with the moment too. I'm not saying that you have to mimic them in a rude manner, but I'm just saying mirror their technique of communicating, mirror what seems comfortable for them. Think you've invited them into your home. And so however they feel like they're comfortable, however they feel their most organic and authentic selves, then you want to let them know that that way of being, that way of showing up is okay. So if they like to stand when they talk, stand right along with them. Again, if they lean back when they talk, lean back with them. Speak at the same pace that they speak. If they talk with their hands, then if you're comfortable, you do it from time to time. Speak at their volume. Speak at their tone. One of my friends reminds me that it's called matching their energy. It's called matching, but not mimicking. It's called matching, but not making fun of. It's called matching and mirroring so that they know that they matter. Y'all see, I pulled out those 3 M's. It's called matching and mirroring so that they know that they matter. So try that from time to time in a civil situation. That's why when people yell and argue, I can't match that energy. I'll leave them to argue on their own and let them try to argue by themselves. But I'm talking about making people feel comfortable. Mirror what they give. Now they feel comfortable in your home, in your space, in your circle, in your surrounding, because they feel as though you are capable of giving them the energy that they need to feel comfortable. Make them, what am I saying? Make them feel at home. Especially this holiday. This is almost a separate one. Make them feel at home. Be a good host. Tell people when they come into your home, have a seat, relax, make yourself at home. Say that to them. If they've never been, the bathroom is that way. It's down the hall. It's over there. It's upstairs. Say what needs to be said. Maybe it's a relative who hasn't been to your home in a while. Have a seat, please. Sit wherever you want. Oh, too many pillows in the chair? Oh, give them here. Let me move out of the way. Oh, you're cold here. Let me give you a throw. Or I can turn the heat up. It's just that kind of thing. Tell them, relax. Again, this is me from the South. Always going to have food. Always going to have food. Bring them snacks. Have snacks out. Bring them drinks. Because you want to offer this positive experience. Make the effort to make people feel at home. It makes them feel comfortable. And then if you have a sense of humor, just go ahead and be your hilarious self. Don't try to make up anything. Don't try to manufacture a sense of humor if you don't have one. Use your good sense of humor if you have one. If you know a few jokes that are good, then if you find a space to share them, then share them. But it's okay to be your full, hilarious, comedic self if that's a part of who you are. Just be honest. Be honest in terms of who you are. And speaking of honesty, don't make up lies to tell people, but just tell the truth and have an honest, genuine conversation. Communicate with them. Because honesty makes people feel comfortable. Just be truthful in whatever you have to say. When I was telling someone some time ago that my mother didn't have to say a whole lot to us because her face, her looks said a lot. And as adults, one of the things that I was telling someone that my mother's face says nowadays, without her even saying a word, speaking of being honest, and she may have even said it, she would just look and say, "You done told that lie so much until you believe it yourself, don't you?" People know when you're lying. So I throw that out to say people know sometimes when you're lying. So just be honest with people. Tell the truth. And here's the bottom line, you all. I gotta go. I've got to go. See, that was the southern part of me. I gotta go. I gotta go. So I need to slow down and say, I've got to go. But no, I gotta go. Here's the bottom, the final summation of it all. If you're going to make people feel comfortable around you, and you can do this no matter what age you are. You can be a teenager. You can be in your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, or even 100, like Miss Evelyn. Remember to be nice. Just remember to be nice. Above anything else, always remember to be a nice person. Be gracious. Be kind. Say things like thank you. Even though they're in your home, say things like thank you. Even if you want to say help yourself, please help yourself. If you're serving them, please have more. If you're going to pack up to go, please take some home with you. Thank you so much for coming. I appreciate you spending this time with me. Make people feel comfortable. Make them feel good about being in your space. Make them feel safe. Because here's what I believe. I believe as a good steward over the lives that come into your life or the people who come into your life, I think it is your responsibility. I think we have a responsibility to handle people properly and to make them feel comfortable. They come into your space. We owe it to them to make them feel comfortable. And sometimes we have to put forth the effort to do that. I hope that you all have enjoyed some of these tips and helpful hints to help us, not just you all, but to help us, me included, make people feel comfortable, to feel safe. We owe it to people to make them feel comfortable. When they consider you worthy enough to go into your space, they consider you worthy enough to go into your space. They consider you worthy enough to go into your space. Think enough of them to make them feel comfortable for having come to your space. We owe it to them to give them a comfortable experience. That is what we owe to them. You all, thank you so much for allowing me to come into whatever space you've allowed me to come into. I'm not sure about how long I'll be around for Thursday, this coming Thursday, which is Thanksgiving. But I'll pop up at some point and I'll let you all know what I'm going to do during our time of talking. But if I don't do the entire broadcast Thursday, allow me to say this to you as you're getting ready for this Thanksgiving season. Most of you all know that I'm a person of faith, and many times my faith does speak. So I want to say this to you as you're preparing to give thanks. May your tables be blessed. May your homes be blessed. And may your entire families be blessed. Thank you all so much for sharing this space. Let's keep doing what we do. Let's keep building community, maintaining connectivity. Stay safe, stay sane. Keep your heads up, keep your hopes up, and know from my heart to yours there is and always will be much love. Good night, everybody. I'll see you next time.